let me introduce myself. So I'm from Bangalore, and I completed my master's in microbiology from one of the top medical college in India. And currently I'm working as a global project lead in one of the top MNCs in the world. So I almost have, almost 6 to 7 years of the clinical research experience. So where I handle, many, clinical trial activities and clinical trial studies, phase 1, 2, 3. And yes, I'm yet to share the slides and more. After my introduction, I'll state the slides. Okay, so I would like to welcome you all for the webinar. And, this is a good opportunity you got and you have taken to attend this kind of webinars. Why? Because when I was doing my master's, I always have a thought that how do I just I always think that, okay, fine, when do I just, start my career as, something good, something broader level. So I always think that, okay, fine, I thought of doing my PhD, but after my completed my master's, the story was different in the market. So a lot of competition, a lot of things were happening in the market. So I joined as a microbiologist. Then just giving some of the stories that I'm trying to tell you from my end, so which can inspire you at least some of the bit. Okay, so the question is now, then I've joined and I wanted to go for the clinical research because I was very good at this antibiotics. I was very good at this drugs and all. I wanted to go for this the clinical trials, but I never had the experience in the clinical research. What I'm supposed to do that. So I attended first time interview, one of the top MNC. Then, what happened? They roasted me for almost 40 minutes for asking many questions. I didn't have enough training. So why I'm telling you people this story, because I want you to people take a broader way look that we are going to discuss now, because this helps you to what decision you should be taking, what kind of role you should be taking after your, your whatever pharmacy, MBA, or the pharma background people you are in. So we'll be talking about something about the clinical trials and something about the clinical trial phases. What are the tragedies that we have seen in the clinical trials, and something quite little bit about the pharmaceutical product management. Why? Because today I cannot teach you every bit of the point that happens in the production. Why? Because this basic idea which helps you to that, what is the current market trends that we have, what is the current growth that I'm seeing, what is the current job opportunities that we have here. Okay, let me share my screen quickly, and you can stop me at any point of time if you have any questions or any doubts. So, but do not keep quiet, guys. Just ask me any questions you have. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Fine.
yes, sir.
Hope you are able to see my screen.
Yes.
Good. I'm sorry. Fine. So, what is your understanding on the the pharma product management? What is your understanding? So I would like to hear from you all.
So basically, in pharmacy also, there are many things to manage. So the people who manages everything, like they are known as pharma products management.
Okay, good guess. Others, I would like to know your pulse so that this gives me more idea that how depth I should be going. Come on, good. Others, what is your understanding in the pharma product management? I kept so many basic examples here: sales target, data, relationship, distributor, product knowledge. Yes. Come on, go ahead. No problem. We have 160 people.
The people who manage the pharma products.
The people who manage the
Manage all the pharma products.
pharmaceutical product. Okay, fine. When I say pharma product, there are many things that you should be looking into it. How the product distributes, how the product manufacture happens, especially when you see in the clinical trials. Let's look into some of the aspects of the clinical trials, how this started and why it is so important. So what are the clinical trials? Do you know anything on the clinical trials? I guess I'm a professional trainer, so my company, so that I tend to ask many questions, so bear with me. But if you know something, you can unmute yourself and answer the question. So the clinical trials are nothing but the research studies that are conducted in people in order to study and test a new medical treatment, such as the drugs, vaccines, medical devices, medical procedures, and the diagnostic test. Every medicine that we are consuming today, every vaccination that we have taken till the COVID, from the polio to till the COVID vaccination, everything was undergone through the clinical trials. Now, tell me that, what do you know about the clinical trials? Because I said, every product that we are consuming has come through clinical trials. So now what
the measurement of the safety and efficacy of any new drug in the human beings.
Wow, that's really great. Yes, safety, efficacy of that. So my question lies, when I'm checking the safety and the efficacy, that how effect this drug can reduce my disease or my fever, my cold, how it should manufacture, because these are something made from the foreign materials. And when these vaccines or the drugs directly consuming into the body, how quality it should be, how sterile it should be, how important the quality it should maintain. So let's look into some of the aspects here. The clinical trial not just started before COVID or after COVID. Clinical trial not just started somewhere in 1990s or the 1950s. It started somewhere in the planet BC. First experiment well resembling the clinical trials. Then James Linnet has been started in the ship. Then the person you're seeing there, and appearance of placebo started, randomization of clinical trial, patient-centric clinical trial, lot many of things. Today, whatever is seeing the clinical trials, I'll tell you something. The COVID, the pandemic has costed $14 trillion of economy for the world. That means a lot of people have lost money, so many people lost the money. Every person in the world, every person, just shaken their life because of the COVID situation. Now, every person in the world have an idea what is the clinical trial. Why? Because the vaccines that we released within 8 months from the Bharat Biotech or some other companies has shown the world that how the clinical trial will be. Okay, so now let's look into that. I'm saying many things of the clinical trials, because any pharma drug, any product, the biomed, the device, which can come from the lab to the market, has to go through the clinical trial phases, especially 99 or 100% of the medicine products. So let's look into the drug discovery phase. Anyone have an idea about this clinical trial phases?
Sir, can I cut you 1 second?
Yeah.
Will this PDF be shared?
Yeah, I'll be talking to the training coordinator and we'll be sharing.
Thank you.
You want the PDF?
Yes, sir.
I think you know. Okay, fine. Thanks for it. We'll be sharing with you based on the training coordinator decision. We'll tell you that. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Hope you liked it.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, fine. Others. So anyone know these steps? drug discovery, preclinical phase, phase 1, 2, 3, 4. Anyone just have an idea?
Yes,
Because
sir.
without this having any idea, we can't directly go to the product management or the pharma, especially pharmaceutical products. You should know where these drugs are coming from. Because when I was working in hospital as a microbiologist, I know I am asking the patient to take the ciprofloxacin or amoxicillin, but I don't know where these drugs were coming from. I have taken the vaccination, but I didn't know where it came from, the polio vaccination or the measles vaccination. So now it's time that we should know where these drugs are coming from. When you especially looking into a broader career in the pharmaceutical product management. So now I'm repeating the question, do you know anything on the clinical trial phases here?
Yes, sir.
Very good.
Preclinical trials, preclinical phase is done on the animal, and phase 1 to phase 3 is a pre-marketing clinical trials, and phase 4 is the post-marketing clinical trials. There is one is phase G. After preclinical trials, there is one phase 0, which is also known as the microdosing.
Super. So the moreover I'm asking question because to make it more interactive, guys. That is it. I'm asking question. At the same time, it gives me an idea that how well you are about the current topic. Okay. Thanks a lot. I couldn't see your name, but thanks a lot for explaining. Yes, drug discovery. You know what happens in the laboratory? Out of 1,000 molecules they check, only one molecule come out of the to the market. So it takes 5 years. Then they will do the clinical trials in the animals, like small like rats, cats, all these animals do that, and the laboratory cells also, which happens 2 years. Then they will send an approval letter that to the IND, investigation of new drug. That means we are going to do a clinical trial on the particular molecule, like monoclonal antibodies or carbohydrates or any of the proteins or any of the things they take or enzymes they take. And then once they get approval from the FDA or the CDSCO or the different country regulations, then they start the phase 1 trial. So they take very minimal patients. Why? Because they need to check the safety efficacy. Then they go to phase 2, phase 3, over. They'll do something called NDE, new drug application. That means my drug has this data for the last 5 years, for the last 6 years. I've done the clinical trials on this many patients, and this is the data showing that I can do clinical trials on this. Then they will be releasing the drug into the market by conducting the minimal phase 4. So this is what happens in the phase 4. So, but what happened? I said the clinical trials were started in 1950, and there are many clinical trial phases happen. But if we see, there are many tragedies happen. Now you might think, sir, I've joined a pharmaceutical product management topic, but you're teaching me clinical trials, but you're teaching me catalyst event, you're teaching me some unethical research events. Why? What is the relation? Because the pharma product, the drug is coming from the clinical trials, but due to lack of correct management, due to lack of correct clinical trial, there were many clinical trial tragedies happened in the history. That is the sulfonamide tragedy, Nagi's experiments, thalidomide tragedy, and the syphilis type. Let's look into that. So thalidomide tragedy in 1960, the thalidomide product in the market, fine, they released into the market, but what happened? That the product did not have the quality. The product did not have the safety. So what happened? Many people were born with limbless. You can see in the picture. So what happened? What kind of action they have taken? They have taken the tragedies. Some of the amendments came in from the US. They've started, many of the amendments, like how manufacturers are required to prove the effectiveness. Whoever is manufacturing any of the clinical trial product should be having the regulatory authority before marketing them. Now, if you are selling any product, that should have an approval from the regulatory team. I cannot just, just because I have a formula, I cannot just build one site or one factory, build a medications. and supply to the pharmacy. No, I can't do that. First, before selling the medications, before selling to someone or giving to someone, I need to show something called the safety and the efficacy. And if you see syphilis study in Tuskegee, which happened in 1932, 1972, between 40 years, the trial happened. You know what happened? Why it is so, became famous? The US government, the US president had to apologize the entire nation because of conducting the unethical clinical trial. That means what happened in 1932, they started the clinical trial. Fine, let them start. What happened? They've taken the people, black people who's from the Alabama. They have taken only black people because economical situations, because of geographical situations, because I'm thinking that these people are very, minority people, and did the clinical trials. And what happened there? Then they have just added almost 200 people, poor African American men, without knowing why we have taken these medications. Today, the products that we are managing, the products that we are preparing has a clear instruction of packet inside. Any product you sell or we sell, it has a package inside telling you that what is this medication for, why are you giving, at what temperature you should be giving, at what at what time you should, how do you should take, like intravascular, oral, or just eye drops, anything you are giving. Why are you giving that? To make sure that the patients are aware. Selling medication is not an issue. Providing the quality medication is not an issue. And preparing the medication which has better, safety is an important. Okay, so what happened here? You say, sir, that they're doing the clinical trial. What is the issue? In between 1947, between 1932 1970, at 1947, there is something called penicillin as drug of choice. That means that there was a drug, but these people didn't know. So that means these people were masked for the truth, for the drug. They didn't know there is a drug called penicillin which can decrease the disease. So people didn't know that there was no drug of choice. So people were forced into the clinical trials. Now what happened? The sulfonamide trials in 1937. So they were used for the streptococcal infection, gram-positive cocci, you might be knowing, and which caused thousands of deaths, thousands of people. So if you see, the drug released into the market, but it did not have a quality. It did not have enough product qualifications to release into the market. The formulas we use, the way we develop, we do not have. Do you have any questions so far? We have almost 200 people. Do you have any questions?
No, sir.
Okay. Others, please, we have so many people.
Yes, sir.
Good.
No, sir.
Good.
No, sir.
Good.
No, sir.
Because explaining verbally, that means sharing your experience verbally is one of the important. Why? Because once I have attended the interview with the 400 people, after 4 hours, only 5 people came out of that interview, because all 395 people are fine. Why? Because 50 people failed in the aptitude, 50 people failed in the some HR round, and almost 150 people, 170 people failed only in the group discussion, because we are tend to think that, okay, fine, what other people think if I talk, or I don't have enough knowledge on to talk. Do not think that. Whatever you have questions, I'm there to answer. I'm there to help you to clear all the doubts. If I'm not able to do something, maybe I can get back to you later. Okay, so I'm asking you, any questions, people who have not responded?
No, sir.
No doubt, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Good. That's the spirit. So now again, I'm asking a question. I told you, right? So what is the pharmaceutical product management? How do you know? What are the objectives? Do you know what they do in the real life? I mean, job?
They just contact to the medicinal store, and
Good.
introduce the product which they are developed and researched and tested out.
Good. So what is the
They'll trial it on animals.
Good. Come on, correct. Good.
The trial is
Once
done
the
on
result is out, then they think of expanding it.
Exactly. So now I got approval after my NDA, that is new drug application. Let's take up many pharma companies like Cipla, Dr. Reddy's, Novartis, Pfizer, Eli Lilly, Roche, Amgen. All these many companies are there. Who is manufacturing the drugs? But being a product management, what is the roles and responsibility? So let's look into that. What is a pharma product management? Production is the method turning raw materials or input into finished goods or the products in a manufacturing process. That means you are taking the raw materials, I mean, not you, but how the process is. Raw materials and finishing the goods are the making it as a product, one material. So to make one product, to make one drug, there are many molecules required, many ingredients required, making sure that everything is proper. Okay, what is the product management? There are 6 M's: men, money, machines, materials, market. Anyone it missed from this M, then the management of product would be failure. You need a men, you need a money, you need a machines, because the revolution of the pharma is happening. So there, if you see how much we are spending in the clinical trial for the last 10 years now is drastically increased. Before we were spending only 10% or 20% of the economic, now we are spending a lot of money. Why? Because there is a lot of requirement of the drugs have become like oncology, cancers, different types of cancers, diabetes or immunocompromised disease. And if you see now, every pharma company in the world now been kind of pressurized. Why? Because now kind of tensed, because they want to stop the future pandemic. They want to stop the future viruses. So they started working on every virus that they never seen, or they never found the medication, the vaccines. So that's how we start. So if you do not have the robustic methods like materials, machines, you cannot fulfill it. I can do the clinical trials in the hospitals and get the approval after 5 years or 4 years. But if I don't have the facilities, how do I manage that? So these are all the component as a product manager, you should be looking into it. It's a broader picture. It's a broader classification. I might not be going through everything, but it gives an idea. If you have pen and paper, you can write it down. Everything. The operations. Yes? Okay. No questions, you can mute yourself. Thank you. The operations, facilities, equipment, finance. Yes, Sunaina. Yeah, please, you raise your hand. Any questions, Sunaina?
No, sir.
Okay, fine. Thanks a lot. But you can ask if you have some questions. Okay, so you need the qualities and everything you do that. So for what are you achieving it? To achieve that, to manage the existing product line of the pharmaceutical organization, you need to see for example, if you take the COVID vaccination, there was a lot of requirement. Because if you take an example of Bharat Biotech or some of the other companies, once they got approval, It became so essential for every person in the world. It became essential for every person in India. At the same time, it became essential for many of the countries. So that means there is a lot of requirement, but not enough the production. So to match this, the requirement and the production, the company, what they did is they have taken enough necessary steps by having the many production sites. Like in many way they've started, like in Hyderabad, Bangalore, and like many cities to make sure that they are delivering it. Now I'll ask you something. If there is a lot of productions, what may go wrong? I kept a lot of sites now. What can go wrong? You have a lot of things to do. What all you would be missing?
People may misuse it.
Exactly.
Quality may be not the same.
Super. Exactly. The quality.
The
And
cost is very high.
I didn't get you. What is it?
The price of medicine is very high, sir.
Good.
The reaction done in the various human is different.
No, I couldn't. Can you be loud, Pawan?
In every human, the reaction is different of the any
Good.
antibiotic.
In quality control,
Superb. Again, superb. Yeah.
Manufacturing error sometimes.
Exactly. Anything can happen. Manufacture go wrong, and the quality drops down, and you don't see the safety medications, and you don't be having the calibrations. There won't be proper maintenance. There won't be proper operations. Enough, supplies. In order to mitigate these issues, in order to mitigate these the quality errors, in order to have a proper safety, and there is always a role for the product managers who oversight this all the activities. That means if you see that if you ever go to LinkedIn, the Facebook, not Facebook, Twitter, or many some kind of job portals, or the like very the professional platforms like this, many of the times, like Dr. Reddy's laboratories, Ciplas, or many of people, what they do is they post some of the posts stating that we recently completed the inspection audit, the inspection from FDA. That means someone is coming to check our quality, how we are delivering the products to the public, to the pharmacy. That means, is our way of doing systems is correct or not? Are we doing sterile products or not? The instruments, the machines, the people, I mean, the way we are doing is quality or not, is sterile or not. The people that we are working has equipment of safety or not, like gloves, mask, everything. How is our maintenance? And what is our procurement details? How much we are producing per day? How many we should be producing? And the process engineering, because if you see clinical trials, many clinical trials are happening with the MAB. MAB is nothing but monoclonal antibodies. So where it is required, lot of genetic engineering, a lot of process engineering, where we need, and a lot of drugs are coming with genetic engineering. So whether we are mapping the correct genes or not, so a lot of things are happening. So all these overseen by the product managers. So now, what are the objects that you have to tell that? What is the roles and responsibilities? You're gonna do the selection of product and design, and you do the selection of product process, how the product should be, and you would be see the capacity of the production. My capacity is just for 100 vials per day. I cannot make it 150 because it makes that the lack of quality that people, you give the wonderful examples, and the planning and the controlling and the quality and the cost control, demand and supply, inventory control. Because there is, if you see the COVID vaccination, it required for almost 100 crores people in the India, and later once we have but in between there we did not have proper vaccinations, because without knowing, without seeing our requirement, the many of the people are some of the people can be yourself. Some of the people, what they did is they have just supplied to foreign countries, but here we did not have. That means lack of inventory control. So that means we need to look into all the possibilities, how the product should be, how the product planning should be, how the capacity is, and how the quality and the cost control is happening at the same time, how the inventory control is. You have a lot of demand, you don't have inventory, you don't have the demand itself, but why are you making so much of inventory? And the maintenance is one of the biggest tasks that the product managers are having, because if you have a mission, you just keep on doing it, you keep on supplying it, but you do not have the proper maintenance, you are not doing the calibration. Do you know what is the calibration?
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, please.
Sir, my question is that you can say that these factors are very important for any production, but sometimes we see that these production are present in if any pharmaceutical industry, we can see that the product what we can consume, the product quality have such factor represent, but then also there's some toxic, because their side effect is very harmful for us, and it is very harmful for our body also.
Exactly.
Then how we can check these factors are not harmful? How we can check these factors that they are harmful?
To be honest, that's a very great question. Actually, maybe I can explain you whatever I know. Thanks for asking. There is something called the pharmacovigilance theme. Okay, so what this theme does is, during the clinical trial, that means pre-marketing, post-marketing, that means once the drug into the clinical trials, and even that same drug after release into the market after the approval, this pharmacovigilance team will have a global level monitoring of adverse event or the side effects, how drug is working in the human body. Is there any issues that we are seeing with the drug? For example, if you see, mute yourself, guys, please. It's really disturbing for me. So what happens here that when the COVID vaccine released, many people were having a fever, severe fever. Even I was hospitalized for almost 7 days because of the fever, high fever. But when they released the drug into the vaccine in the market, they said you'll be having the mild fever, but I had severe fever. So when I was taking the vaccination, they gave me the paracetamol because they know that it is one of the side effects. But what is the risk and the benefit evaluation? Risk and the benefit, the calculation went wrong there, only for one case or the many cases. There is something called ICSR form, investigation, where we fill the documents, like, whatever the side effects that patients gone through it, they will fill the documents and send it to it. For US, there is a FDA 3500, and for us, AER form, adverse event report form. At the same time, for UK, the yellow card scheme. So likewise, we send these documents to those people, the doctors or the pharmacists, the nurse, or even I can call them and tell them, see, this is what happened because of the drug. So I had a fever. So you said only mild, but I had severe fever. So what happens here, by looking into this data, by looking into number of complaints they've got, they will be having the better clinical trial. Once again, they'll do the clinical trial, and at the same time, the other hand, the regulatory team will be oversetting that, stating them that your drug caused these many adverse events because they get the data. That is the reason till the date, many of the drugs were pulled back from the market because those drugs were giving the cardiac issues. Those drugs actually released for the oncology or the cancer, but those same drugs were giving the cardiac issues, drug dependency, drug addict. So that means, and even many side effects, hospitalizations happening. So what happens is, if the risk is more, they'll pull back the drug from the market. Okay, so The production will be there. The vaccine production was there. It keep happens. But once the other hand, they'll also take feedback from the doctors. They also take feedbacks from they collect the feedbacks from the different social media, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, or any social media they have. Sometimes we post, right, after taking this vaccine, this drug, some of them felt a severe fever. They take this kind of feedback. They collect the feedbacks from the clinical trials, investigators, and see that what is our drug risk and what is our risk, what is our drug benefit is happening. And now, the other hand, I said, right, by having a correct suggestions from the regulatory team, they start changing the formulas. They start working on where we should give the proper benefit to the patients. So they'll change the formulas, and whatever the formula they change will be coming to the production. So I'm not saying that having the correct production will not stop the side effects, but the product manager or whoever has interest in this career will make sure that they don't be having any issues. See, getting side effects from the clinical trial drug is different, but getting side effects from lack of proper production is one of the harmful effects. If I don't maintain the quality, while the drug is super good, but if I don't maintain the correct production quality, that means I'm failed my work. I did not make proper product. That is the reason the pharmacovigilance do the assessment. Something that the causal relationship between the drug and the adverse event here. So that means now they will check whether this drug caused this adverse events or side effects caused by the drug or not. If caused, is it because of the production issues or it is because of the drug itself? So that is the reason FDA, CDSCO, every regulatory authority will keep doing the audit for these sites, whether how their product is. So they'll make sure that everything is 100% quality. The selection of right production capacity till maintain of replacement of machines, they check everything. They check every document, calibrations for the missions, quality for the missions, recent changes in the missions. You cannot bring every mission, just put into the sites. No, they need the approval from the regulatory teams. They need approval from the current within the company regulatory team. So they check everything. They'll make sure that there won't be any mistakes. There won't be any quality issues in the production. Yes, I still agree. There are still some of the side effects happening, but the production issue, if the adverse events because of the production, then there will be mass adverse events would be seen. So that is the reason at the sites of the production, there will be stringent rules, stringent protocols will be following. Fine. Have I answered your question, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. So what are the objectives of the product management? Its main aim to produce the good of right quality. I was talking for so long about this quality, quantity by time at minimum cost. Okay. So it also tries to improve the efficiency of the product, to maintain the bonding between the employees. I'll give you an example. In the somewhere in 1930s, the Britain, one of the favorite sport is the bicycle. But even though they have interest, they were losing every year. They lost in the games. Many Olympics they've lost. Many Paralympics or some of the local games they've lost. Now they found the issue that, and they've changed the trainer. Now that new trainer has come and said them that we don't need to change the people who is doing cycling. We don't need to change the players, but we need to change some of the aspects. That means the gloves they are wearing, the shoes they are wearing, the tire tubes they are putting for the cycles, the seat, the grip, the ointments that we are used for the for hands grip, everything they are changed. After that, they've never lost in any of the game. But continuously they won every game in the world. So, yes.
Sir, my question is that when the quality of product is high, that you can say here it is written objective. When the quality of product quantity is high, then the price is almost very high.
Yes.
It is not, it is very difficult. It is very impossible that price rate is minimum, because when the quality when they're giving a good quality of product, then definitely their price rate is must be high.
Okay. Yes,
Sir,
quality.
how you can say that my question is another question, that you can say that there is side effect. Some medicines have a side effect, but how we can reduce their side effect? If we take a pills, then these pills have some side effect also. Then how we can reduce their effect of pills? So these things are very essential that pharmaceutical company can do for their development, because sometimes it is highly toxic for us also.
Exactly. So
How
without
we reduce their side effect? My question is that.
Yeah, without having the proper quality, no one can just put such a high price. At the same time, how much money they spend for each pharma company to release one drug into the market, millions of the dollars. Where it starts from the laboratory. Finding one molecule takes 3 years. Having patients, hospitals, paying doctors, the nurse, the lot of drug products, lot of transportation, logistics, is cost around almost millions of the dollars. But sometimes, many of the time, they don't get success, they failures. And having the competition, one molecule you find and it gets success, it gives the millions of the dollars to the profit to the patient, to the pharma. I agree for it. At the same time, if their drug do not have the high quality, if their drug do produce the side effects that you are referring, will draw back from the market. Recently, one of the company I don't want to mention has been pulled back from the market in 2007. Why? Because it's giving the myocardial issues. Yes, I can say minimal side effects are. I'm saying it will be there. That is the reason there is something called risk versus the benefit. So which will be checked by the regulated in pharma company on an ongoing basis. If any movement, if they find more risk, then the drug will drop out from the market. But however, there is something called understanding, detection, assessment, mitigation. The 4 parameters that will be used by the pharma companies. Whenever they find any of the side effects, the toxic effect, they will try to mitigate by having the concomitant medication, because there's something they can't do it. Meanwhile, they do the additional clinical trials on the same product. They'll try to give the other concomitant medications. Price is something which would decide by the companies. So not by something me or you or someone wrote that. Yes, I agree that there are a lot of side effects are there, but you're taking a lot of money. That is where the competition comes. This other company comes with the quality product with the less price, the people goes there. Okay, so but having high quality is one of the main objective for every pharma company, and minimum costs. Is it possible to drug having side effects and they have necessity the pharmaceutical company use another drug which is used to suppress the side effect? Yes, exactly. If you see the COVID vaccination, we have taken the paracetamol, and every time if you see many of the oncology drugs, they see the hair growth. I mean, hair growth will be there. There's a loss of hair, appetite, the diarrhea, a lot of happens. So what doctors suggest them, they can use the concomitant medication to suppress, to mitigate the side effects, so that the patient will be benefited from the main disease that they have. So these side effects are minimum, guys. Why? Because they have to work on the multiple genes. They have to work on the multiple protein or the organs in the body to reduce it, because the side effects not only because of the lack of quality, but also having the high dose, if you see, especially in the oncology drugs. Yes, exactly. And the person who asked me, hope I've answered your question, and I really it's good to see such great interest and do that. Okay, so pharma production management skills, what kind of skills you need? Because you need the skills of communications, the management skills, the consumer empathy, the maintenance balance between the professionalism and the friendliness of employees, understanding the people, leadership qualities, prioritizing the workflow. Now you might think, so where do I get this from? No, you all have these qualities, you all inbuilt it, but you need to understand what is the requirement for the job. The communication skills. When you do the product management, you need to talk with a lot of customers. It means like a lot of companies to sell their drug into the market. You need to talk to the lot of the representatives. You need to talk a lot of the stakeholders from the different within the company. So you need to have proper communication skills. You need to understand that what is the requirement I have in the public and what should be my production. And how do I make sure that I have my employees with how do we make sure the friendliness? Because you will be having very close relationship with the ground level employees to the high level employees. And so what are the job opportunities? Sorry, you spoke so much. What are the job opportunities I have? So I'll answer your question, Pragya. So what are the job opportunities? You have products executive starts from, again, executives and the product managers and the group product manager, global project managers, general managers. So these are the roles that you will be getting if you in the product development management. So what are the, where are we standing? So if you see the one side, I've just kept for, to have a brief idea, what would be the salary ranges? Because after COVID, everything has changed. The way they are acquiring the employees becomes so different. It becomes so good. Why? Because many of the pharma companies, many of the CRO companies are looking at India. Why? Because the way we work, the skills we have, and the interest we have towards the world, and the training we are getting, the education we are getting here. That is the reason many of the companies are turning towards the India. And last few years, many of the companies were started they have started their operations in the India. If you see, recent in 2018 in Covans, there are many of the people, almost they have taken almost 3,000 to 4,000 new freshers they have taken for the for their CRO. So the salary range has been increased, but now how are you saying there is a lot of requirement? If you see the Indian clinical trial market, which in 2022 it's 2.6 billion. Now in 2030 it's gonna go to $3.8 billion. That means there is a lot of growth that we would be seeing it. Okay, so your question is that each drug have their own side effects. When one drug suppresses their effects, and then the drug side effects also no. Every drug do not have such a huge side effects. So, for example, if someone gets the fever, they are taking the paracetamol. For example, do you really think there is a side effects because of the paracetamol? No, there won't be, because it's managed in such a way. Even our body immunity system managed in such a way that we are compatible with such drugs. Yes, some effects is very minimal where patient can affect. If you see the broader level chemotherapy affecting or dying because of the COVID, dying because of cancer, but having the minimal side effects like diarrhea, or loss of appetite, or having stomach pain, headache, might be something patient can bear. Having a life is great important than having a minimum side effects, I believe. Hope I answered your question, but still you can ask me again. So the categories wise exports for the 21 EPC 22, the drug formulation, biologicals contributing 78%. That means there is a lot of scope for the future. There is a lot of scope for the career growth we are seeing. Why? Because if you see the surgicals, bulk drugs, Ayush herbal products, other than that, we only mainly contribute in the drug formulations. That means the India is becoming the pharma hub. India is becoming pharma hub for the productions. And if you see other hand, the India's drug pharmaceutical export trend is like this. Just every year you see it is increasing. It is increasing millions of the dollars. It's only for the production, guys, what I'm showing. So as per the DCGI, so the local, our government. So where is our jobs are released? Many of the companies like Accenture, the Cognizant, Cipla, Dr. Reddy's, and Nova Nordisk, Johnson Johnson, Children, Icon, or Dells, Ranbaxy, Roche, Amgen, TCS. Every company. If you see some of the companies who do not have the production sites, but have also they have certain compatible roles for you people. So the Indian market is growing, I can say, with a lot of opportunities, with a lot of the growth. So that's all from my end, guys. Any questions I would like to take? Any questions?
Sir, how can we get in this place?
By having, see, any company you see, if you go for the fresher, one of the biggest drawback we have is that they tell us that we are freshers. Don't worry about it. If you are a fresher, all you need to have an educational background, a proper training. What is the requirement? For example, if you see my slides, I've shown you that what is the clinical trial? What is the clinical trial phases? If the interview would be expecting same questions from you. What is your idea? At least do you have theory knowledge? Do you have training background? If yes, then you'll be getting into it. Have I answered your question? The training is required. As I mentioned, right? I wanted to go for the pharmacy CRO company, but never had a training. I always took me 2 years without training to go. But where are my friends who took the trainings, who just did the undergraduation, they've got better jobs, before than me with the trainings.
Sir, I am from the chemistry background.
Super.
So do I have any chance?
Yes, you can. The chemistry people would be having mainly in these pharma companies, especially this quality and the production. You'll be having many roles in the companies like Dr. Reddy's, Cipla, all the pharma companies. Guys, you have actually.
Sir? Hello?
Yes,
Sir?
yeah, I can hear you. Tell me.
Sir, my question is biotech student have opportunity to do any pharmaceutical company can do?
100%. I'm from a microbiology background person.
Me also.
Yes. So you have that. So because the industry is looking towards multidisciplinary, ideas, multidisciplinary knowledge, where we get them, because you have if you take the biotechnology, you work on the many things like the genetic engineering, or you work on the medical, there are a lot of things, the cell biology, many things you work on it. The trainings, this education background, along with the training, would really help your career.
Sir, my question is that is it is necessary that our project is based on our firm? If we can do any job in pharmaceutical, then it is necessary we can do any project work in pharmaceutical. It is necessary, sir.
No, if you get an opportunity, please do not leave it. It's not a necessary, but if you get an opportunity, just try it. Having internship kind of, in pharma companies would really helpful for you. But however, having theory knowledge from the trainings also would really, help you.
Then we don't have any. Then we don't have any information. Don't have any knowledge regarding any pharmaceutical medicine. Then we can, if any company can join, give an opportunity to do this, then how we can learn from these things? It is very difficult.
The training you should be taking. You should have a training that at least if you have basic idea, basic knowledge, then you can which you get from the trainings would really helpful for you to have one step above than others.
Sir, I am a biotech student. I am final year biotech student too. Then, sir, if I want to join pharmaceutical, and then some people say that is necessary, we can do a project regarding pharmaceutical. Then any company
Not
can.
required. That's not required. That's fine.
It is not necessary.
Yeah.
Where are the trainings? So where are these training coaches available for the beginners?
Webinars, if you see, the current institute you are, I don't know whether I can say this or not. I'm not very sure. Anmol, are you there? Just a second, guys. Just give me. Anmol, are you there? Fine. I think the training coordinator who hosted this session would be telling you more about it. Yes, the current institute, the Learn to Upgrade session, you'll be getting many courses available here.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Sir, the basic question come arises right now is that I'm from a pharma background. I've completed my final, but the mainly question is going on that where we are applying or we need to apply, the stamp of COVID comes around us. So how to overcome from this stamp?
As I mentioned that you need to show that you have a better understanding on the current clinical trials knowledge, current clinical trials. That makes you more different than others. And as I mentioned, guys, yes, they'll tell you that. But however, how did you utilize this time? That how well you contributed in education? What is our training knowledge? Again, the same question comes because I've seen a lot of people who just into trainings and just got the job. However, I'm not telling that there are no people who didn't get the job because of COVID. There are plenty of opportunities, plenty of vacancies happening every day. 100 of people are just joining. Okay.
Sir, please share your numbers or contact number.
I'm really sorry. I don't know whether I can do that or not, but
it is because it is very helpful for us.
I know that, but I'm not very sure that.
Sir.
Hello, sir. So can you just let me know, as being a fresher, can you tell me the position in the pharmaceutical project manager for a fresher? What will be the first position for the fresher?
Product executive trainee or the product executive.
Product executive.
Exactly.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yes. Fine. That's all from mine, guys. And if you have any questions, you can reach out to the training coordinator, and maybe you'll get back to me with the questions.
Sir.
Yes.
It is a 1 month course, na? It is.
Yes, it is.
What is the timing of lecture?
Timelines and all, seriously didn't know. Maybe you can reach out to the training, but I'm just trainer or the mentor who takes trainings.
But sir, the college time will collapse with this.
I know. I think it will be somewhere weekends and the evening times, so it won't be on the weekdays, daytime.
One certificate
Okay,
will
wait.
provide how
you'll
many
get the course
credits,
detail
sir?
on WhatsApp, guys. You got a message. Maybe you'll get all the details related to the course.
Sir, one last question.
Yeah, please.
If I have to, sir, I have 2 courses, then I will get 2 certificates. Then how many credits I will get? 2 or 4?
See, even I don't have answer for this question. Entire will be taken care by Anmol. He'll reach out to you that for a better explaining the credits and all this. Okay, I'm really sorry. My apologies for it. But whatever you asked me many questions here, people, guys. The MBA pharmaceutical, MSc microbiology, biotechnology, B Pharm, M Pharm, anything you talk about here, the current market has a better career opportunities. I can assure that. Okay. So that's all from my end, and it was really nice talking to you.
Sir.
Yes.
Sir, please share your number, sir.
I'm really sorry, I can't do that. So I know.
Sir, can I ask a question?
Yeah, please. Yes, please.
Sir, actually, I'm planning to do masters, but I'm interested in both pharmaceutics and pharmacology. But I'm very confused, like which field to choose.
Can you repeat your question?
So I am planning for masters.
Okay.
And I'm interested in both pharmaceutics and pharmacology, like clinical research. But I'm confused between the both. Like which field would have more opportunities in future?
Okay, pharmaceutical and pharma.
Yes, sir. Pharmacology and pharmaceutics.
Pharmacology would be great, I believe.
So I have one more question.
Yes.
I am for BSc right now, microbiology. When I will complete my graduation in microbiology, then I should continue MSc in microbiology, or I should take biotechnology.
Continue microbiology. That would be good, your subject, right?
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
So one last question. I just wanted to ask, he has a product executive. If the person, so what will be the roles? It's like a product brand building, or it's like totally focused on the product which will be doing by the company?
No, it will be like the quality and the resource planning and the resource management. Everything will be there. So it's not about only production. Within the production, you have many groups with many routes you have. So it won't be one.
So it will be related to production, right?
It will be related to production.
Okay. No, I thought it will be like a brand building of a product. Okay, so it will be the different one if I talking about the brand building of a product, right?
You'll have the review documents. You'll have the QC documents. QC department. Many departments are there.
Okay, this is for the production management, right?
Yes, yes.
So can you just tell me, if I wanted to like my interest was related to brand building of a product, so for that, which will be the course, right? Like this will be the courses, right? Or that there is also a course like pharmaceutical sales and marketing, that will be right? Can you just let me know?
This I'm not sure, ma'am. Maybe you can take the protocols, the pharmaceutical sales and marketing that has a kind of boom now, current market, so that you can think of it.
Okay, sir.
Okay, guys. Thanks a lot. For the last 3 hours, I was in meeting, my office meeting, and joined here, and that's all from my hand. And it was really great, nice talking to you. But I would like to take some 5 seconds. So hope you all like the session. Hope I did not go fast. I did not make you confused. Hope you all like the session.
Yes,
sir,
sir.
surely. Thank you very much.
Please share your number. Very helpful for me.
Fine, I can't do that, but wish our paths come cross again, and we'll